It's the new style. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1.
In the booth with the people of fresh. There was one DJ who had to pass the test, and now he's down below and he's ready to play. That's right, y'all. His name is AJ. Never gets nervous when he cuts the beat. He gives that not service in the clutch on the street. A completely elite that can't be beat. Was AJ never knew the agony of the beat. Say,
Man, I tell you what. Say it one more time. All right, let me cut that music. We're live right here in the JM&E studio. Getting ready to do the lunch break, Freestyle Friday. And again, we are powered by JM&E, and we're live on Roku, courtesy of BS3. If you got a Roku streaming device, just check out BS3 TV, download that bad boy, and you're going to have some great programming and a variety of it. In fact, at the end of the show, I'll give you an idea of what you'll find on the BS3 TV network. So thank you, Ben Sutter III, for putting us on TV. I'm AJ Jones. Sorry I missed you all yesterday for Throwback Thursday. Had some out-of-studio stuff I had to take care of, but I'm glad to be back. Thank you for all of our faithful listeners, viewers, followers, you name it. We appreciate y'all being concerned and always checking in on your guy. It's Freestyle Friday. We're going to have Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us here in just a little bit. He normally is with me on Thursday, but because we weren't on, he'll be on with us today. And there is a lot to talk about because the U of H Cougars did it again. They are on their way back to their second straight Elite Eight after knocking off the #1 seed in their bracket. The Arizona Wildcats beat them 72-60. And man, I'm telling you, there is something about that gritty basketball play where you play great defense and you can shoot the basket. And that's what they did yesterday. We'll talk more about that at length. Right now, getting started, I'm looking at it. It is the press conference where Cleveland is introducing Deshaun Watson as their brand new quarterback. Now, yesterday, a lot of activity concerning Deshaun Watson. A grand jury in Brazoria County, that is south of Houston in a suburb called Pearland, they once again heard testimony from the complainant. They heard testimony from the complainant, and they looked at evidence concerning a sexual assault criminal case against Deshaun Watson. After several hours of testimony and reviewing the evidence, for the second time, a grand jury has decided not to indict Deshaun Watson on any criminal charges in connection with sexual assault. Now, I know that does not mean he's innocent. It also does not mean he is guilty. So now he is able to move on with his football career, minus the civil piece. The civil lawsuits are still standing. They still need to be resolved. There's 22 of them. How they'll be resolved, we still don't know. But the criminal piece, barring any new information or any new complainant, that criminal piece is over because for the second time, a grand jury chose not to indict based on the evidence. So I wanted to get that out real quick, but hey, he just popped in. Man, I got to get your music together. Now that I'm in studio, I got to get your music together and let me make us bigger. Although I kind of like that. That's a little fly. That's
kind of strange, man. Make us bigger.
On my hood.
There we go.
Look fly. We look good. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. Man, don't be trying to be the producer of my show. I got a young man that's killing it, man. I got a young man that's painting and hanging TVs. So I got to give love to Kev, the producer, man. He is doing it big, and he is a student over at the Texas Southern University.
Fantastic. Props to him. You know, I'm just waiting on you to give me the word, brother, on the big news, and we ready to roll. So
when I tell you I am pushing a one of them technical people, and you know they this is crazy to me. This young man is very skilled, very talented on the tech side. With technical people and project managers and engineers, if they got 5 things on their desk and you give them one more, you know what they want to know? which one of these other 5 things do you want me to get rid of? Because I can't do 6. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, I know I gave you that other stuff, but we got to do this. He's like, okay, so which one of these you want me to get rid of? I don't want you to get rid of none of them. I need you to do them all.
Right.
But he's working, and I mean it. When I tell you he is working, he is working. So we're pushing that envelope.
So it's great. I'm just waiting on it. You know, young man Andy Yanez is doing big things with his show, Let's Rage Coug. So it's going great for the basketball team, and he's got plans for the football and in the fall as well. So he's just waiting as well. And I talked to Tamer. She's ready to do something also. So line it up, brother.
Tell Tamer I need her to sit in for me one Thursday. I need her to be the focus of the lunch break one Thursday, just cause.
I'm gonna run it by her. See, cause I don't know her schedule, how it is in the daytime, but I'll see.
Tell her I'll make it worth her while.
Will do. I will do that when we're done with this show today.
All right. Real quick. Again, if you are just tuning in, the Cleveland Browns football team is right now introducing Deshaun Watson as their new starting quarterback. The general manager, Andrew Berry, is speaking as we speak. So I don't want y'all to leave us, but I do want y'all to know that that's going on. I'll try to bring you updates from them as we know them. Again, Deshaun Watson being introduced right now as the new quarterback for Cleveland. All right, bro. Without further ado, your alma mater is breaking hearts and busting brackets, but ain't nobody surprised but the folks outside of Houston.
Well, bracket-wise, I'm surprised because I had Zona beating Houston all 3 of my brackets, but my bracket's already been trashed, so I'm being consistent.
Look, after last night, I don't even have a bracket. My last hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our last hope. I got to quit betting. I got to quit thinking that Gonzaga is going to win it all.
I did. I picked them this year because I thought this would be the year that they'd get it done. So that was it. I mean, I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. They had some question marks, all that, but I picked the team. I picked exactly on one bracket. I'm not sure if they did on the other 2, but whatever. I think I picked Kansas on the other one too. I know they picked Houston because I don't want to be the kiss of death. So I don't mind being wrong if it means Houston's still playing. So I'm good with that.
Yeah, you didn't want to be like Calvin Ridley betting on your own team and end up getting suspended for a year by the league.
Right.
Kris, that Cougar defense is a problem. That thing is legit, and it meant pressure will bust steel pipes. And, man, they rattled a very good Arizona team last night.
They did, and it goes to – and we talk about the defense. I'm going to get back to that in a second. But for the 4th straight game, the Cougs had a different leading score.
Yeah, that part.
So balanced scoring, Fabian White against Memphis in the conference championship game, then Kyler Edwards, then Tazi Moore, and last night Jamal Shead. So the balanced scoring, it's something to see, and it's hard to defend because you don't know who's going to be the guy to step up that game. So
exactly,
the staff is doing a great job, and the defense is the foundation of the program, foundation of the culture, the rebounding. And Coach Tommy Lloyd for Arizona, he said it last night after the game that you have to face Houston more than once to get used to it. Because if it's your first time going against the defense, as a coach, you can show the players everything they do on video. This is what they like to do, all these tendencies, all that kind of stuff. Seeing is one thing. Experiencing it firsthand is something else.
Yeah.
So if you're not used to it, the quickness, the length, the physicality of it, it takes you a while to adjust. And by that time, it's too late.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, what I saw out of U of H last night was almost like a notch or 2 up from what they had done before. Because, man, there were not a lot of second chance baskets by Arizona. And Arizona had the size, but it's almost like U of H had the determination. We're getting this ball, and we're pushing it up the court to get into our offense and to put the pressure on Arizona.
Yes, but there were times because of the bounce of the ball, loose balls.
Right.
Zona had, I think, more offense rebounds than Houston did last night, which is one of the rare cases that's happened this season, but they didn't do a lot with it.
Right.
And then turnovers was a huge issue, difference between live ball turnovers and dead ball. Live ball is still in action. You get the ball and go. Dead ball is like a pass out of bounds. You got to reset the offense, throw the ball inbounds. The Cougs had like a 26-4 advantage in points off turnovers in the game last night, and they won by 12. So those little things add up. So the turnovers, Arizona had 14 turnovers.
Right.
Houston had 12. So
Yeah.
right there, it's not much of a difference.
Right.
But the points
over
off turnovers was a huge factor in that game.
Right. To your point about the rebounds, Arizona 13 offensive rebounds, Houston 10. Defensive rebounds, 23 for Houston, 18 for Arizona. But the stat that I saw that made me like literally rock back in my chair, Houston is literally undefeated when they hold a team under 40% shooting. And last night, Arizona shot 33% from the field, 31, we'll round it up to 32 from three-point land. You can't live like that.
Right. And I think the stat is now 24-0 when Houston holds a team under 40%. Because I think it was 23-0 before last night. So add one more to the belt. It is just amazing to see.
Kris, you and I, real quick, we got Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, live with me on Freestyle Friday here on the lunch break, powered by the Jones Media and Entertainment Network, better known as JM&E, also streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. And Kris, you and I have talked about it plenty of times with the Rockets and other teams. You got to play defense. You just can't always outscore all of your problems. I remember the old Loyola Marymount team. Doc, they were going to put up 140, but they weren't always undefeated because every now and then you run into a dog that can score a little bit better than you. When you have a team that locks down defensively like the Cougars do, man, that gives you a better chance to win than if you're just trying to outscore another team.
And to Coach Sampson's credit, they control tempo.
Yeah.
They did not allow Arizona to play fast.
Yep.
And I was surprised Arizona did not pressure Houston more. We saw the little bit of success they had at the end of the game with the pressure defense. They should have done that more, because if you allow Houston to have set offense, control tempo, it's going to be tough for you to win.
Brother, I got to tell you, I was mad as Hades. I know I'm on my own network now. I was mad as hell last night with those couple of turnovers at the end of the game. First of all, why are you throwing the ball to Lil Man over in the corner?
Yes.
You saying, please trap me and make me turn it over. And then Lil Man didn't do anybody any favors by just jacking it up to go. He did it twice. And I'm like, bro, if you don't stop, I'm literally talking to his soul. If you don't stop, I'm coming in there and get you. They got to clean that up, because I tell you, this team that they're going to face next, they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that was those turnovers down the stretch didn't erase Jamal Shedd's great game, but it was a subtraction from what could have been a stellar superior game. He had 5 turnovers in the second half.
Yeah.
You know, which you can't do that the further you advance in a tournament if you want to win.
One thing I know about this, Coach Kelvin Sampson and his staff are cleaning that up as we speak, because they play again tomorrow, and they play probably one of the better definitely one of the better coaches in basketball right now, with Villanova. That coach said, aha, and Coach Kelvin Sampson's got to say, yeah, we got to clean that up.
Got to clean it up, and that's what Memphis did in their 2 wins against Houston, was press them, force them in turnovers, get them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because that's part of good defense.
Yeah.
Is making your opponent uncomfortable, making them do things they don't like to do.
Yeah.
So they got to clean it up. They got hours to get it done. And because you just can't toss passes in the air like a hope and a prayer that your team is going to come get it. So that's not how you want to win.
Yeah, I found it strange. And again, they start trapping and double teaming and all that late. But I found it strange that U of H had literally 3 people in the up by their basket, as opposed to getting some help to Shed. So you had the inbounder and you had Shed. And I think maybe one guy tried to come up late, and that's you got to have a strategy to make sure you can get the ball across half court.
Right. It should have 4 players, at least 4 in the backcourt for the inbounds play, and then have the 5th as a safety valve to either come back to it or break long, something like that. But yeah, they got to clean it up for sure. Villanova, I don't believe it's too much of a pressing team, but Coach Jay Wright is a smart man, and he
Very
sees,
smart.
okay, this is one thing they're not strong at. So let's see if we can tweak some things and get them on that. Because tomorrow's game is going to be two teams that are so sound fundamentally, so well coached.
Yep.
Do not turn the ball over very much.
Yep.
So little things, all you need is a 2-minute spurt of 3 mistakes, and whoever gets those, capitalize on those mistakes, could win tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, let me send some love out to different people on our platform real quick. AK Matro with a 0. Hey, man, got him tuned in on Twitch. Keith Hennick, of course, is checking us out on the book. And then CJ, big shout out to her. She's checking us out on YouTube. So, and again, I know the BS3 network family are all going to be jumping on here in a minute. I love those guys. I was on a show with them this morning, man, and we got to talking about, Deshaun Watson, sexual assault and that whole thing. You and I are going to have a little conversation about that near the end of the show. Because, it's Freestyle Friday, and you and me, we get to talk about life issues. And there's some things that kind of came out today that I want to share with you. I want to hear your point of view on it. Let's talk about some of the other games. I'm going to say it. Don't say amen. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. I am not a fan of this Coach K. I'm not a fan. It's almost like he has become more crotchety, more agitated. Like even the questions that are like mundane questions, it just seems like he's irritated by the fact that somebody asked him. And I'm just like, bro, please go ahead and retire. Like, please, can somebody, who Cinderella really is? It's not St. Peter's, it's Duke. This whole story of Coach K possibly winning it all as he's about to walk off the court for the last time after a storied Hall of Fame career. That's Cinderella to me. And I want midnight to strike, and let's just be done with it.
I'm a Duke fan. I've been a Duke fan since I was 14. So that's
all right. So let me ask you this: as a Duke fan, and I got a lot of Duke fans in my atmosphere. Can you be a Duke fan without being a Coach K fan?
Probably, because there are some things that Coach K does that rub me the wrong way. No question.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear, because some fans accept everything you do as if you're flawless. And that's where I'm trying to get the truth out there, that Coach K is a great basketball coach, but it don't make him a great person. And yeah, just because he did right by a lot of people, he has clearly, honestly, lied and been dishonest about other things. And the way he's dealing with the media right now, it's like, man, what is your problem? If you don't want to answer questions, then don't answer questions.
He's become the proverbial crotchety old man. I think it's safe to say that. He is becoming kind of bitter as he's gotten older. And I've noticed that. I was surprised they beat Texas Tech last night. I picked Tech to win the game.
Me too.
I thought Tech's defense would be able to disrupt Duke's offense enough, but Duke's youngsters came through down the stretch.
Right.
And they showed sometimes when you do have better talent and you play like it, that you're better than your opponent. Yeah. And that's what they did. They finally lived up to their talent.
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero finally looked like a top 3 draft pick in the NBA draft in a college basketball game. He finally looked like he realized he's the best player on the floor, and it's time to act like it. It's time to display all my skills, and he did that. Yeah. So that performance, combined with how Chet Holmgren looked, may give some teams some pause. Others, I doubt. But it's just good to see Paolo finally man up.
Yeah.
Young man up and be the best player on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, Keith Hennick, who, man, again, that brother has been around sports for a long time, and longer than us. And he said Coach K is burned out, constipated, old man, time to go. Keith, if you are my spirit brother, you are my spirit brother. He said what I got in my spirit. You're right. Last night, the young talent for Duke played at a level that they have not consistently played at all year long. So we know that they have that in them. The question is, can they do that for 2 more games? Well, 3, really.
3 more, right.
3 more games? Can they do that for 3 more games? And my answer is, I hope not. Your answer is?
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
The next matchup is going to be a test for them. I'm not sure. Like I said, I picked them to lose last night, so I do not think they get this far. So one thing about youth is one issue is being consistent. They got to do it again.
Yeah.
They got to play up to their level of talent again.
Right.
And I'm not sure they're going to do that.
Yeah.
If they do, then they can cut down the nets.
Right.
But I'm not convinced they're going to do that yet. And flipping back to Houston, man, it is blowing my mind. Just bits and pieces here and there of different betting places, analytics, whatever, are listing Houston as now the favorite to win the national championship.
Yeah.
That just trips me out, man.
Well, it got me. It started for me. We got Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us here on the lunch break. It's a special edition of Freestyle Friday and combination of Throwback Thursday. It started with me when you had some houses that had Houston as the favorite last night.
Yep.
Like you got a number 5 favorite over a number 1, and there are a couple of houses that they have them favored over Villanova. And it's like, man, that's kind of crazy to me.
It is. And like I said, bracket wise, I wasn't whatever. But this week, I was reading different places and different sites one site I saw had Houston as the favorite to come out of the South region. And that's over Arizona.
Yeah.
And over Villanova. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, man, this seems like other folks are catching on to what Houston's doing, so.
So let me ask you this, Kris. Let me ask you this. Is it because of the combination of who U of H is? U of H has a very seasoned, veteran, successful head coach. Where everywhere he's been, take all the nonsense out about too many text messages and all this other crap that they want to hang on Coach Sampson. But him as a head coach, and then the style of basketball that U of H plays that travels on the road and plays well at home, could that be it?
That's probably part of it. It's a veteran team. I mean, the starting lineup is 4 seniors and Jamal Shedd.
Mm-hmm.
So they have veteran experience.
Yep.
So that's a plus. And Jamal Shedd has grown and improved and gotten better as the season has progressed. And I mean, the last 2 games, he's become one of the best players on the floor in the second half.
Yeah.
He's taken over games in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all the development and the style of play is key. The defense is successful. It's an irritating defense.
Yeah.
It's under your skin.
Yep.
They scored 72 points last night when their team leader, Fabian White, scored 4 points.
4, right. Yep.
4.
Yep.
And their best athlete, Tajir Moore, was in foul trouble the whole game.
Right.
Played 17 minutes.
Yep.
So different people have stepped up different games.
Yeah.
And that's a team.
Yep.
Because this team is probably not more talented than last year's team, but they sure are clicking at the right time. It helps to have a big man like Jarvis Carlton to go against taller, bigger centers for other teams. So that's a help.
Yep.
And he had a solid game last night.
Did.
Reggie Chaney.
Yep.
Finally seemed like his left hand injury that he's battled all season is probably as healed as it's going to be while he's still playing.
Yeah.
He's had 2 great games the last 2 games. He was key last night, getting rebounds, making free throws.
Yep.
Fans of Houston know it's like in the water. Going back years, that free throw shooting has been a problem for Houston basketball teams. It was last night. Juwan Roberts, like a 50% free throw shooter. When he made his 2 last night, I was like, oh, they're going to win.
Yeah.
I was like, it's their night. They're going to win.
When you said that and I said, finally, that's exactly why I said, finally, you know what I mean? Al High from the Casual Highlight podcast and a member of the BS3 family. Arizona was overhyped. Houston will do well in the Big 12. I agree with the last part. I don't think Arizona was overhyped because they've done it all year long and they got some players.
And to say they weren't in top 25 preseason polls, so nobody thought about them because they had a new coach, a lot of new players, so no one thought highly of them before the season started. and then they won games. So they're a good team. They're a very good team.
Yeah.
You know, they won the Pac-12, regular season championship because they're a good team.
Right.
Numbers wise,
the Pac-12 is no slouch. When you look at USC, when you look at UCLA, when you look at Arizona winning that Pac-12, they are no slouch. They are no slouch. Yeah.
But I want to say this, and I was petty last night, this morning on the Let's Rage Cougs show. I'm gonna be petty again on your show, brother.
Oh, Lord. Come on. I like it.
This is not bad for a team who only had one quad one win, because that's what some of the national folks said. Well, Houston 5 seed is probably too high because you only have one quad one win. Who they beaten all season? They lost to Memphis twice, and they only have one quad one win, and they got that late when they beat Memphis, so they're not very good. 5, they probably should have been a 7 seed. And oh no, how could they do this? They're playing the woeful American Athletic Conference. So, blah, blah, blah. Well, they beat the Big Ten champ, beat the Pac-12 champ, going after the Big East champ tomorrow.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Yeah. Yeah. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us on this special edition of Freestyle Friday. We're on the JM&E network, and we are on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. In fact, Ben Sutter III just chimed in. He and I were on a show earlier today that, man, I'm telling you, man, my heart is still pounding from that show. My guy, my brother, King Ivan from Queen 3 and King said defense still wins championships. All right, now back to what you just said. I want U of H to start getting the same respect that Gonzaga gets. And I know over the last 10 years, Gonzaga has an astronomical number of wins and wins over top 25 teams. I know that's the case. A lot of people don't know that. But that also being said, Gonzaga doesn't get played down because of the competition that they play in conference. U of H should not get played down going forward. When they move over to the Big 12, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear any of these experts saying, yeah, but give them their due and give them consideration for top 3 and up, top 3 seed and up. They literally ought to be in consideration, especially if they win the Big 12. Do them like you do Kansas. Do them like you did Baylor. Do them like they deserve to be.
That's going to take time. I mean, the Zags they're not getting heat now because they, as a number 1 seed, lost and won't get a championship. So they're taking that heat. Coach Few has built a success program for 20 years. But they still take heat because they play in the West Coast Conference. And some folks say that the competition doesn't prepare them enough. The West Coast Conference had, I think, 3 or 4 teams in the tournament this year. What is this?
Kris. Mike Patton from touring the AFC South said, and I'm going to say what he didn't say, never trust a big butt and a smile. Poison, BBD. Man, I'm there. I'm to that point. I had Gonzaga last year. I had Gonzaga this year. They did worse this year than they did last year. And all I'm going to say is I respect Coach Few. I even respect how the university handled his off-court situations. But, bruh, at some point, we got to believe them for who they are. Great regular season team, good tournament team, not a championship team until they win one.
They're getting like Utah, the Utah Jazz. Yeah, that's fair. And it's also showed you how tough it is to win a championship. I mean, keep in mind there hasn't been a back-to-back champion in men's college basketball in a long, long time.
Long time.
And I think, what is the stat? Once Baylor lost, the defending champion has not reached the Sweet 16 the following year for 5 straight years.
Wow. That says a lot.
So that says a lot. It's hard to do it. It's hard to maintain success and win a championship. Villanova has championships. And they're thought of as a national program, but they're not thought of as a blue blood. And they've won championships.
Yeah.
Okay. I want, and I've said it to my friends at UH on the staff. My goal has been for a few years now is for Houston to become the Villanova of the South.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
And this is before they moved to the Big 12, going to the Big 12, dominate your conference and make noise in the tournament and win championships.
Yeah.
because Villanova, folks still don't think of the new Big East as a Power 5 conference.
Yeah.
But listen to the national love and respect Villanova is getting. You know, it's like it's March, it's tournament time. Villanova is doing their thing again, making their run. They're now in the Elite Eight again. They won championships. This is Coach Jay Wright doing what he does with his team. So Coach Sampson, he's on his way. The Cougs are in the Elite Eight for the second consecutive year with a chance to go back to the Final Four for the second straight year. They are building a national reputation, which the players see.
Right.
Some national media, some of them just not going to ever give Coach Sampson credit because of his issues at Indiana.
Which is
some of them still are bitter about that.
Man, let me just tell you something. When Sean Miller got a job at his former school, Xavier in Ohio, and he still has open cases, open investigations, I'm done, man. You don't say nothing to me about Coach Sampson at Indiana because he did suffer a penalty. Sean Miller ain't suffered no penalty.
Yeah.
Sean Miller, and they're welcoming him back in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm telling you, man, I you know me, bro. I ain't got no respect for these folks making decisions because they don't make them fairly. Treat Coach Sampson like you're treating Sean Miller. Treat Coach Sampson like you're treating Bill Self. Treat Coach Sampson like y'all treated Roy Williams and Coach K, who, by the way, have not been squeaky clean as folks think that they are. I got to do this, man. We got to stop for a station identification, as you will, if you will. Y'all check this out about BS3 TV. Oh, if I would have my volume right, I can get this in. All right, let's do this again. Here we go. And I hit something wrong. Pray for me, man.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
All right. BS3 TV Network. Go to your Roku streaming device. Download BS3 TV. You'll find out what's happening on the BS3 Network. I'm going to introduce you to some of the shows that they got going on after this one. All right? All right, Kris. I'm going to say this with my chest.
Uh-oh.
You know, I got a couple of friends that are strong UT Longhorn fans. And I've been telling them for a long time, UT has not been relevant in basketball since before Shaka Smart. But for some reason, all they want to talk about is Shaka Smart, what he didn't do, what he didn't do. What he did do was win their first Big 12 championship. He did do that.
Right.
He did do that. And nobody else had that under their name but him, including, what's your Chris Beard?
Right.
Here's what I want to go ahead and say with my chest. UT is not as relevant in men's college basketball as U of H.
Oh, no question.
Never has been, and at the rate they're going right now, never will be. So as much as UT, Longhorn Pride and all that kind of burnt orange and hook 'em horns and all that, y'all still not even in the same discussion as U of H has been, as U of H is, and as U of H will be. Your thoughts?
You're right on point. What is it? 6 Final Fours now for Houston. A chance to go back to make it 7. And I think Texas has not done that. I feel safe in saying that, you know. And it's one of the fears and concerns that Longhorn athletics alums have had with being in the same conference as Houston.
Yeah.
Houston stealing their shine. Houston taking everything from them on the court.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They've been afraid of that for years. And so if they do stay in the Big 12 till 25, they're going to be in the same conference as Houston for at least 1 year.
Right.
At least one, maybe 2.
Right.
And we'll see what happens on the court.
Don't be surprised if U of H don't pay that money. I'm sorry, UT don't pay that money and try and get out of there sooner. Do not be surprised.
Oh,
man.
Oh, no, that wouldn't surprise me because of what I just said.
Yeah.
But they would not leave Oklahoma. Well, the SEC wouldn't take them just one at a time. They want both to come in at the same time.
Right.
So, but I'm going to say this, and it doesn't mean much yet. But your point about looking to the future about Houston, Coach Sampson got a 5-star coming in next year's team. Okay, a 5-star and 2 4-stars. One of them's already on the bench. He's redshirted right now. He's on the bench. You can see him on the
Bring
sideline.
him on in.
He enrolled in January. He is Emmanuel Sharp is 6'3", 6'4", down to like 206. Before his injury, he was one of the top shooting guards in the country.
Yeah.
He had 2 catastrophic injuries, man. I think this dislocated his ankle with one injury, and then I think broke his wrist. So he sat out the senior year in high school, didn't play. So because of that, he fell off the radar. U of H said, that's all right. We believe in you. We got a great strength and performance staff. We can take care of you, rehab you. He came in probably with some baby fat, but now he's down to like 206, lost 25 pounds in like 2 months.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this. Coach Sampson said Emmanuel Sharp reminds him of Rob Gray. Okay? Remember what Rob Gray used to do? Yeah. And Emmanuel was taller than Rob Gray is. Yeah. And he's not the 5-star. Yeah. Okay? The 5-star name is Jarris Walker.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that. The talent level is going to rise.
Yeah.
And they're going to make some noise in the transfer portal as well.
Okay.
So because like I said, the players see what's going on in Houston, at Houston. I'm not going to say about the national media and the hate they're still spewing out. The players want to be part of this. And some of y'all going to be surprised because I got a strong indicator of one of those players is going to transfer here. Y'all might be like, ooh.
Woo! Let it be, let it be, let it be. Let me run through some of these comments. First of all, let's pray for my brother, King Hawk. I'll trust a big butt and a smile, especially if she light-skinned with green eyes. Brother, I'm going to just tell you what I know. Tall, light, and fine almost killed me. I will take them short, fat, with one tooth in their mouth. I'm just telling you. Watch out for them light-skinned tall ones. I'm just leave you alone with that. Courtney Harden, man, definitely. We gotta get a show together.
I mean, brother, real quick. He said tall, light skin. That sounds like my queen who disrespected me, man.
I'm staying out of that, bro.
Okay, but
I'm staying out of that because all you had to do was cook. That's all you had to do.
I had to do more than that. I had to do more than that. Apparently,
ain't that a brother for you? A brother?
But yeah, you just kicking me to the curb. But seriously, before we get back to the comments, have you seen her lately?
Mm-hmm.
On a tournament TV? Mm-hmm. Where I'm serious. Where is she now?
Mm-hmm.
Is she just doing WNBA stuff? I haven't seen her doing an NCAA tournament. Nothing. What is she doing right now?
I noticed it, and I sent up a prayer. I hope she's okay. Yeah. Hope everything is okay with her. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Because she is, man. She was on a meteoric ride, and something happened. I don't know. We don't know. Pray everything's okay with her family as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's real close to her mama.
Yes.
So pray everything's okay with her mama. CJ Harden, we got to hook up for a show soon. Brother, we got to. In fact, I'd love to have you and Kris on here together. And, man, we could really chop some stuff up. Keith Hennig, easy on my horns, young man. You are quite correct with your take, however. And, Todd is in witness protection. He only come out when UT wins or when Shaka Smart's team loses. Other than that, he ain't got nothing to say. So, again, bro, I've done the numbers. I've checked out the math. UT is not even in the same discussion as U of H when it comes to football. I mean, it comes to
basketball, right?
When you talk about football, they're not in the same discussion any longer with Oklahoma. So what are you? Who are you? You just a big old school with a lot of money that can't buy yourself championships. So now's the time to start sticking with some of these coaches that are trying to coach your players up and see what they can do on a national level. Oh my gosh, Keith Hennig, what is he gonna do? Tall, light skin, and green eyes sounds like my dog. Keith, I'm praying for you.
Yeah, pray for him.
All right,
but real quick,
go ahead.
While we jump on the Longhorns, I sure found it enjoyable that Texas Tech advanced further than the Longhorns did.
Yeah.
Chris Beard left.
Yeah.
Mark Adams like, that's all right. I can still coach. I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
And they made it further than the Longhorns did this year's tournament. So hey.
And watch this. It'll be the same thing next season too.
Probably. Yep.
It'll be the same thing because that coach had a nice recruiting class as well. He had a very nice recruiting class. And I feel the same way about Juwan Howard and Michigan going farther than Greg Gard and Wisconsin and their ridiculous athletic director, Mr. That's our fine, and we don't think our coaches or players did anything wrong, and da 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 da. When you can't accept responsibility, I want to see you get your comeuppance, as the country folks used to say.
Yes.
So yeah, Wisconsin, you didn't get it done, and bye-bye. Again, last night, for some reason, Michigan, I don't know if Michigan realized who they were playing against, because it's almost like they played them like they played the team before, as opposed to, and I'm not knocking Juwan or the coaches, but you gotta structure your game to the exact team you're playing. And their big man last night was a liability compared to what he was in the game before.
Right. He couldn't guard Samuels. Sam was 6'7", Hunter Dixon 7'2",
Right.
and not quick feet.
Right.
And that's going to be an interesting matchup tomorrow to see how long Coach Sampson keeps Josh Carlton on Samuels.
Yeah.
Because Josh Carlton, he's gotten better the last couple of weeks.
Right.
But, he wasn't born to defend on the perimeter.
Yep.
That wasn't what he was put on the floor to do in games.
Right.
So that's going to be a matchup. We'll see how it plays. We may see Reggie Chaney and Juwan Roberts get more time tomorrow against Villanova.
Adjustments. It's all about adjustments. You can't be so bullheaded that you don't make adjustments that the game is calling for.
Exactly. And Coach Sampson touched on it in post game, and anyone who saw the game last night saw it in the game. Early in the second half, Arizona had made an adjustment on the offense, and they were slipping the Cougs defense on the perimeter. And you saw a lot of open layups early in the second half.
Yep.
Coach Sampson said, we saw that adjustment, saw what they were doing. So instead of going over the pick, we went under the pick.
Yep.
So it took that away from them. That's an in-game adjustment.
Correct.
That's what successful coaches do.
Yep.
Make in-game adjustments to what your opponent is doing, and then say, okay, I see your move there. Here's my kind of move. What you got now?
Yep. That's called great coaching right there. That's called great coaching. Keith and Kris, don't get on AJ's bandwagon. You're hurting my feelings. We love you, Keith. We love you. We love you. We love you more than we love Todd. So anyway, there was really one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Arkansas and Gonzaga. I mean, Arkansas almost out-athleted Gonzaga. Yes. And then, brother, I mean, again, they got guys that made shots that weren't even open. And I'm talking about deep threes, quick threes. Like, have I been sleeping on Arkansas? I guess all the talk in the SEC was about other teams. How did I miss Arkansas?
Because they weren't Auburn, Kentucky, LSU.
Yeah.
Coach Musselman has done a great job in a short time at Arkansas. He gives his player the green light, because some of the shots those dudes jack up, I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? Some of them are bad shots, but the players, he lets them be themselves. And they were more physical. They beat Gonzaga to the 50-50 balls. Anything loose ball on the floor, they got. Rebounds between two people, they took it away from Drew Timme. They got Chet Holmgren in foul trouble. Some of those foul calls were kind of shaky, as a lot of the officiating has been throughout this whole tournament.
Yeah.
But they played better, and the better team won.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so here we go. Today, we got St. Peter's and Purdue. Who you got?
Purdue should win.
Okay. Let me just say this, man. You have got to blow up and go national. Let me tell you why. Mike Tirico, who he can't come to my house, knock on my door, and come inside, said that the big man for Purdue had soft feet, light feet. No, he doesn't. That young man don't have light feet at all.
The 7'4" kid? Mr.
Yes.
Edie? Oh, hell no. No, he doesn't.
Rumbling, bubbling, stumbling up and down the court. And once he gets underneath, he's got limited moves. So, brother, we need folks who don't just have a name and a platform. We need folks that know what they're talking about. Purdue has a couple of bigs. The second big that comes in has light feet and can handle the ball. But the 7'4" kid from Canada? No, you don't.
No, not at all.
All right, Kansas and Providence. Who you got?
I would love to see Ed Cooley and Providence win that game.
Me too.
So I'm going to pick Providence. Even though my bracket, I picked Kansas to win a championship on one of them, I think. I don't even remember which one it was, whatever. But why not? Let's pick Providence. And wouldn't that be something? That'd be the second team from the Big East to get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, that would be good. North Carolina, UCLA.
UCLA.
I hope so. Nothing against North Carolina and the Tar Heel fans and their head coach, but I'm done. All right, the true Cinderella matchup: Iowa State and Miami. Who you got?
Gonna be a game of guards. I guess I'm going to. I need to see. I'm kind of wavering here because I'm confused on how to have my Big 12 loyalty yet because the Cougs are not yet in the Big 12.
Come on, Big 12 homer. Come on now.
Because if I stick with that, I got to pick Kansas over Providence. So to balance it out, I'm going to pick Iowa State. So balance it out. It's going to be, and wouldn't that be something? They won 2 games last year. 2.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards Iowa State in that one as well. But we'll see. We'll see. There's going to be some interesting matchups. All right, let me go to Saturday. U of H and Villanova. I know where you are. Arkansas and Duke. Who you got?
I'm picking Duke. I think the talent. I'm not convinced that they can do it again. Rise to the occasion to maximize their talent, but I'm going to say they're going to for at least one more game.
Okay. All right. Rockets in Portland for 2 games. So what? Chris Paul coming back to Phoenix last night and getting them over the hump, and Milwaukee is making that push, man. They're what, a game and a half out of first place with some other teams, but Milwaukee is definitely making this late season push. Anything we need to discuss before
Boston rising to the top? Brother Udoka doing his thing, got his players meshing at the right time. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
is just the ultimate glue guy.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to score a lot of points, but he can play defense, get assists, and do all the dirty work for his team to get dubs. Any thoughts on the dust up with Jimmy Butler and Udonis Haslem? Do you think that's more of a big deal than anything? Yeah, I don't know.
Brothers. Yeah, brothers. That's one of those brothers fight. You get in that, you're gonna get beat up by both of them. But yeah, they had it out. But again, knowing both them dudes, that is true passion. So anybody trying to get into that, real quick before we get off of it and get on this thing. Well, it'll be a good segue. The young man from Arizona with
Benedict Mathurin.
The alleged touch / assault, whatever folks want to call it. What are your thoughts on it, and what do you see?
When I saw the clip, because I noticed it, I think live, and I was like to myself, did he just touch her in her chest? And I was like, weird. And then I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know it had blown up so much until I think I read an article this morning where he issued an apology.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much there. I mean, he didn't grab her or he did touch her, and it seemed kind of strange. So it seemed out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? But I wasn't like, what was he trying to do?
Okay, so that's where I want to jump in. I felt like as he was walking off, he was doing the kind of high five me or low five.
Something like that. Yeah, it seemed like he was trying to, I don't know, maybe like tap her on the shoulder or something, and he just happened to not tap her there. It didn't seem like he was trying to grab her in her chest. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the comments, Willie Gibson tells me all the time, stay out of the comments. The comments of wanting him arrested, wanting him charged, wanting him kicked out of the tournament and that kind of stuff. This is why I cannot rock with this outcry of believe the women, believe the women, believe the women, because you got people that will go harder on certain men than they will go harder on others. And I am not about sacrificing the life of another, I'm going to say it, black man just because. If somebody is guilty, then by all means, the fullest extent of the law. But just to rush to judgment without any evidence, without any understanding, without any investigation, him touching her does not mean that he assaulted her sexually. Oh, well, she didn't welcome, but it doesn't mean he intentionally did it. And if he didn't intentionally did it, then it needs to be different than if he intentionally set out to do that. And that's where this whole Deshaun Watson thing is starting to go with me. I'm all for women's rights. I'm all for justice for women. I'm for justice for anyone that gets sexually assaulted. But just to have this throw them under the jail, believe all the women, and all that kind of stuff, as long as we got one Brian Banks out there, as long as you got other people that have been convicted and sent to jail and they were innocent because of false claims, we're not just going to go to one extreme to cover the disparities on this side.
Agreed. And I did not see all the people, comments about.
Because I read the comment, you don't, and
Ben should be arrested or whatever. I don't know. Did the young lady have a problem with it? Did she go public with it? Think she was assaulted or anything like that?
I don't think we've heard from her. But I do know that the head coach, the athletic director, and others from Arizona have reached out to that school and to their counterparts to try and A, apologize, and B, to see what needs to be done to resolve it.
Yeah. So I mean, it didn't seem like a big deal to me. If it's not a big deal to her, then why is it such a big deal to everybody else? Especially trying to kick him out of the tournament and all that. And I wonder how many of those same folks look the other way when certain people in higher office who have done much worse have said things on tape.
Say it out loud. I'll say it out loud.
You say nothing.
They didn't believe the women when former President Donald Trump was accused by multiple women. Everybody keeps saying the number of women with Deshaun Watson is their issue. Where was that same smoke? And I'm not trying to do whataboutism. I'm just trying to say this is why you can't just go with a blanket believe all the women, because you don't do it right every single time.
Right. And that's the key. Be consistent. Be consistent in your accusations of who you're accusing based on how they look, who they are, their status in society, all those things. Be consistent. The number of accusers, all those things. Be consistent. Wait for the evidence to come out. All that. Be consistent. Don't jump to conclusions because the person looked like me. He did it. But the evidence hadn't come out yet. No matter. He did it. Look at him. He looked shifty. Look at him. He looked like he, really? But somebody who doesn't look like me, well, I'm going to wait for the evidence to come out on him. Wow, you didn't have to do that for this dude right here. Yeah. Be consistent.
And see, folks, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that, oh, you're making it a black thing. I'm just telling you, some things are multi-layered, and one of the layers is definitely race. And you cannot separate the race from it. Just because you don't want to talk about race doesn't mean that race does not come into play. There's Emmett Tills out there. There are other people out there that have been killed over a lie about sexual assault. There are entire towns that have been wiped off the face of the earth because of lies about sexual assault. And I don't want to hear but that spirit still lives to this day. We just saw it. We just saw it in a national election. We just saw people who don't care about facts, truths, or anything. They just care about what they believe, and they're willing to literally hurt and kill people because of their unbelief of the truth.
Yes. And they come together and form conspiracy theories and just spew out other nonsense. And it's even worse now. You have one married to a Supreme Court justice who's spewing out a whole bunch of crap.
Nothing to see here. Y'all disband. Nothing to see here. We just have the wife of a Supreme Court justice who evidence is now pointing to the fact that she was part of planning an insurrection of the government. So there was a guy on a show today, and I'm not saying his name because of anything other than it was personal. It was very personal. I said on the show that as men, if anyone accused us of anything, whether we knew the person or not, we will have to deal with it. Our lives will never be the same. If somebody said Kris Gardner did XYZ and Kris Gardner says, I don't even know that person. I ain't never seen that person before.
Right.
Our lives will never be the same, because guess what? You're going to have people who will believe it no matter what.
Yep.
You will have people who will investigate it. You will have, folks come, if not arrest you, at least knock on your door and ask you questions. And because of that alone, people will believe he did something. Oh, I knew there was something going on with him. This young man broke down in tears because he had a situation where he was calling games for a local school district. And somebody, a male, made accusations about him. And the powers that be said, you can't call games for us anymore. And literally went through whatever the investigation was, and he was found innocent. Guess what? They never came back to him and allowed him to call a game. In fact, somebody called him in administration and said, hey, man, whatever happened with that situation? And, oh, yeah, by the way, stop touching them little girls. And this dude broke down in tears. This dude was suicidal. His wife literally had to pull him back off the suicidal ledge. This man broke down. I mean, literally was inconsolable on his show in front of however many viewers and listeners that he has. And that's the part that the whole believe the women, believe the women, believe the women, that's the part that they don't see. Innocent people can be caught up in somebody's devious mind or sick mind or unstable mind. I'm not saying that's all the cases. Right. I'm just saying we can't fix one problem by allowing anything to happen on the other side.
Emmett Till was brutally murdered because folks believed the woman. Okay, so let me just put that out there. So there are some women who just flat out lie for money grabs, for attention, all those things. And it's a shame because they ruin it
right
for the women who have been victimized, who have been assaulted, who, because of those liars, the doubt is now in a lot of our minds because of what she's saying is legit.
Right.
But so many lies have been told previously, and still to this day, we're like, well, I need to wait and see now because I'm not sure if you're telling the truth. I need to see the evidence. I got to have more. I got to know more. I need to know more before I can form my conclusion.
Right.
And it just lies mess up things for everybody.
Yeah.
Because what's the famous phrase? A lie spreads around the world much quicker than the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a fellow attorney tell me the likelihood of 22 different people finding one attorney to tell their independent story of the other 22 women without there being some type of come to me if this has happened to you. This is not a class action suit against a tobacco company or a big business that hurt people. This was sexual assault. The fact that none of these ladies, bless their hearts, came in with their own individual attorney or with a different attorney is something that you can't ignore. You just cannot ignore that. You cannot ignore. That's one of those, that's almost statistically impossible. And if that attorney is going out and chasing ambulances, that's against the bar.
Right. That makes you question what's going on.
So again, I'm not saying that the women lied. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there are so many things in the layers that make you say, how did that happen? Or
And let me say this, because she's done some things that have rubbed me the wrong way in the past. Any of these women contact Gloria Allred? Gloria Allred, she is a defender of women to the core.
Absolutely.
Okay. And did any of these 22 contact her? Or did she reach out to them? What about her? Why isn't she a part of this? Why isn't, because I'm not going to say the name of the attorney.
Right.
But because, he's done some things in his past. You're kind of like, really?
Yeah, and that's what I keep trying to say to people.
There's too much doubt, for us. I'm just waiting for everything to come out. But I'll say all that to say this: the way the Cleveland Browns organization pounced on this, making this deal and giving him a guaranteed contract for 5 years, within hours of no criminal charges being found, Man, I don't agree with that at all. That's I mean, hell, at least wait a week. Something.
Well, and that goes to my next point. And unfortunately, due to time, probably gonna have to be my last point. If you're mad at Deshaun and not mad at the NFL owners and not mad at Commissioner Roger Goodell and the NFL executive office, then I can't rock with your outrage, because Deshaun didn't give himself a fully guaranteed contract.
Right.
Deshaun had the ability to earn it, but he didn't give that to him. So if you're just mad about that part, then again, that's tunnel vision, and I can't sacrifice a person's life because you're mad at the fact that the justice system, the way it's set up today, did not have enough evidence to bring back an indictment against him in any of the 10 criminal complaints. But as far as the NFL piece, if you're not mad at the owners, and I'm talking about owners and the commissioner, then I'm sorry. For the ladies, my heart breaks that they didn't get the justice that they deserved if what they said is true.
Right.
My heart breaks for that. And I don't need to have a daughter or a wife or a mom or anything to have that kind of compassion. People literally put the wrong things up as their badge of courage. That means nothing. In fact, it says how shallow you are. You wouldn't care if it's somebody else's. You only care because you have a daughter and you have a wife and you have a mother. That's really short-sighted.
Agreed. And I know we're running short on time, but the NFL hypocrisy continues to know no bounds, and so do the fans. A lot of the fans and the people who, I bet there were some Cleveland Brown fans, some, because I think there's some who probably made this own the Browns for a while. Yeah. But some are probably beforehand were laughing at Deshaun and saying he should be out of the league. But once their team signed him, oh, Deshaun, our savior, we got our savior now. Yeah. Well, wait a minute now. Yeah. Before he became a Brown, you ready to get out to the NFL. Right. But now he's a Brown, you all kissing his feet. When Brett Favre had sexual assault claims and allegations with a massage therapist with the New York Jets, Minnesota still wanted him on their team. Other places still wanted him on their team. All I'll say is, until we can do it right, I'm not saying don't do anything. I'm just saying let the legal process play out, and whatever the decisions are by the legal process, we got to accept that, or we got to find out what can legally be done to change that. Right. Kris, we do have to go, man. Thanks for making time on this special edition of Freestyle Friday. Tell everybody what you got coming up. Tell everybody where they can find you. Appreciate it, man. And real quick, it's been a busy week for me, man. I was on a KC station, NPR station on Monday to discuss the lack of diversity in coverage of college basketball, men's and women's. With Kenitra Pulliam was a sister on there. She joined in, gave her take on it as well. So that's on. I can stream and post. I need to post on my website as well, but I'll tweet it out. Post that, because a lot of different people in different places have been talking about that, and there's nowhere where that is collectively pulled together, but it is very noticeable. CBS, man, good Lord almighty. You mean to tell me you ain't got, and I know what they have in the studio, but I'm talking about courtside and calling the games and what have you. It is noticeable. Now, we touched on that. In studio, most of the people look like us are former athletes. Right. So, yeah, I'll post a link. I'll give it to you as well. But the link to the website is HoustonRoundballReview.com, as well as VHRR.com. Twitter, you see me right there, VHR Review. Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram. In addition to that appearance on Monday, part of Let's Rage Cougs last night, we're doing a Folks Talking Sports tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time with me, Willie Gibson, Andy Yanez, and probably Tamer Knight as well, and James Mueller also. I think James is in San Antonio with the team. Saturday morning, I'll be on Rochester Radio with WHTK guys. Y'all cut up on that show, bro. Y'all be on there. And then late last night, I was invited to if I could make it, and I said yes, of course. I'll be on KHOU Sports Sunday, Sunday evening, talking about UH basketball as well. So, yep, things going well. So, yes, sir. Kris, before we go, we got to give some love to You Better Talk to Me. That is a restaurant up in DFW. I think it's a food truck up in DFW
They got crawfish. They've got seafood, and it's a great guy. In fact, I got to shout out to Captain Trey Pike for sending us this information. You better talk to me up in the DFW area, AD Vito, ADVITTO. Y'all check him out if you're up there in the DFW area, or if you're going to be in that area. Tell him you heard about him on the lunch break. Kris, have a good one, brother. Have a blessed weekend.
Last thing, of course, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective.
Love you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right. Y'all, I know we went a little bit over, but had to get that in. Let me shout out real quick to Sybil Wilkes, what you need to know. We'll come back and wrap it up right after this.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is, Friday, March 25th, 2022. Number 1, Thursday marked the fourth and final day of the Supreme Court confirmation hearing of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. It was also a day away from the Senate Judiciary Committee for the historic jurist herself. After sitting for 23 and a half hours of questions from the 22-member panel, Judge Jackson, the first Black woman nominated to sit on the nation's highest court, was able to step away. Outside witnesses representing various organizations, including the American Bar Association and the Congressional Black Caucus, gave testimony regarding Judge Jackson's abilities and capabilities to sit on the nation's highest court. Number 2, Brittany Griner, the Phoenix Mercury Center detained in Russia on drug charges, has had her first meeting with U.S. consular officials since she was initially detained February 17th. Griner has been communicating with her family through Russian attorneys, and a source close to her told ESPN last week that they knew she was doing okay. Under Russian law, prosecutors have up to a year to 18 months in exceptional cases before they are required to bring her to trial. Number 3, the CEOs of several major airlines and cargo carriers are asking the White House to lift COVID-19 precautions for travelers, including mask mandates. Airlines for America cited high levels of immunity in the U.S., availability of high-quality masks, and widespread vaccine availability. Frustration over mask requirements on airplanes has contributed to violent outbursts by some passengers who have refused to abide by the rules. Number 4, a transgender woman's body was found dumped in Chicago garbage bin 5 days after her family reported her missing. Tatiana LaBelle was beaten to death before her body was left in an alley in the Chatham neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. LaBelle is at least the 7th transgender person known to have been killed in 2022. No arrests have been made at this time. Number 5, on March 19th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin saw its first Black woman crowned as Miss Milwaukee 2022, Jada Davis. A 23-year-old native and resident magna cum laude graduate of the University of Wisconsin, Green Bay, she's currently attending Marquette University Law School and working towards her Juris Doctorate. During her year of service as Miss Milwaukee, Davis will make appearances throughout the city while promoting What's Wrong with Being Confident, her personal social impact initiative focused on building self-confidence and positive body image among youth. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Choose to live your life. All right. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SybilWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sybil, don't say anything. Thank y'all for tuning in to today's show. And literally, a lot of good stuff today. I'll be back on Monday with Oh My Goodness Monday. And of course, we'll spend a lot of time talking about this press conference with Deshaun Watson and Deshaun Watson and Cleveland. We'll talk about that. Before I go, though, I got to give you all the information you need to know about BS3 TV. Before I do, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Here's what's happening with BS.